YouTube? It is Charles here, and today we're going to talk about one that's been out for a while, but still, if you can find it, it's a great read. It is called Finders Keepers. It is part of something they put out last year from Image Comics called The Horizon Experiment, where they gave authors an opportunity to write original stories featuring minorities and other communities that you usually wouldn't see. For instance, a Chinese James Bond, a Muslim John Constantine, a family of werewolves with East African descent. And one of my favorite books that I really enjoyed from the series was The Evil Dead for Black Nerds that I read. It was called Mother Effing Monsters, and it was very funny. And this one is described as a reverse Indiana Jones. I'll read you a little bit of the about the author. This month, it's Finders Keepers by Vita Yeda and Skylar Patrick. Vita is written on pretty much every popular comics franchise, from X-Men to Batman to Wonder Woman. There's no comics writer currently working who's made the former comic editor want to edit again more than Vita. So I'm honored to have them here, and I'm grateful that they introduced me to their frequent co-collaborator, Skylar Partridge, who's already a superstar working on Supergirl, with Eisner winner Mariko Tamaki, and I'm very proud to say this is Vita and Skylar's first creator-owned work together. And it goes on. Pretty much the story is about Inez, a young Puerto Rican girl who has aspirations to become a renowned archaeologist. And that seemingly butts up against her grandmother's desire for her life, of her wanting to remain on the island and be part of the community. And instead of digging up these things that represent cultures and lives of people that actually live, and monetizing them, respecting them, and honoring them. And so that affects her. Well, we meet her, like I said, as a young girl, and then, the next page is this coffee-stained outline for her application to a internship at a big museum. And we see her, she grows up working in the museum. And while she does hold on to her childhood and her past, she finds herself being a cog in the machine that her grandma had warned her about. And she comes up across this ancient, valuable relic that was taken from Puerto Rico called the Bakel Corazon. And it is part of spirituality on the island and a prophecy, and so she steals it. And that is where the story really takes off. And we go into the history of it and the lore of it, and her trying to put it back in its rightful place, being pursued by the person that donated it to the museum she was working at. A lot of great fun action, a lot of cultural history, a lot of lore, a little bit of supernatural, and it really gives you a peek into the life of a culture that you may or may not be familiar with. I really, really, really enjoyed this. And, the thing about the Horizon Experiment, they said that some of these books may or may not be picked up. I hope that this one is one that gets picked up. And the back, it actually gives you the rundown of all the other one-shots they put out. The Manchurian is the Asian 007 story. Then we have The Sacred Dam. And then we have Moondogs. And then we have Mother Effing Monsters, the one I read. This is the strongest out of, the two that I read. I didn't read the other ones. But if you can get it, I highly recommend it. The character is deep, well written, and conflicted. Not a simple character. And I appreciate that. A lot of times comic books, they kind of gloss over things for the sake of getting to the next action panel. But this writer and this story took its time and made you care about the character, their history, heritage, and their deeper mission. So check out Finders Keepers from Image Comics. The Writer's an Experiment. If you read it, let me know what you think. It came out in 2025, I believe. If you'd like to contribute to this growth of this channel, you can buy me a coffee at the QR code on the screen right now. And I thank you for watching and spreading the comic book love. I do this for the sake of the game. I love reading comic books and enjoy that it brings me. And my big hope is that I can share a little bit of that joy with you and hopefully get you pointed in a habit that might give you a smile for your day. So I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.